This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Let's go back. So, any questions from Docker, like what we discussed yesterday? Any doubts or any any questions or any doubts, whatever? Like, you have anything? Otherwise, we'll get started with Ansible today. I was thinking.
I will rejoin again. Okay.
What is that? Maybe Vikas?
No, it's me, Karthik. I don't know. It's showing me something different options. Let me join again.
Okay, sure, sure. Yeah,
I don't have right now, so
fine. Okay. Right. So we'll get started with Ansible then. If I don't see any questions, maybe you need to.
Yeah, we
We have.
actually need to go back again on things. I'll come with some questions maybe later.
Yeah, definitely. So you are sorted with the connectivity, right? You had some issues connecting to Google Cloud.
Not actually. See, I mean it was sorted in a way, but again when I tried installing Jenkins and all, I got some
Mhm.
socks key issues. It's like it's not allowing the internet connection. It's like it's working in a weird way, so I'm trying to fix that thing.
If you're able to SSH to the machine, I think that should be fine, right? I don't think so. There should be any problem
No,
installing Jenkins.
no, it's not with the cloud. I'm talking about my own system. When I tried installing Jenkins and setting up, it was
Hmm.
giving me some socks key issues and proxies, and it's
Hmm.
not allowing my internet traffic. So
Okay,
something that I have to fix on my system.
okay. Okay. On your system, maybe it's a office machine. The proxies are not allowed to download those all Jenkins file or whatever. The proxies might have blocking. You
Yeah,
cannot
I
download
don't
it.
work. It's my personal laptop.
Oh, okay. Then I think it should be very. So you just need to download and work from there. But yeah, anyways. Yeah, try connecting to the cloud because it's all. I thought you were able to connect to Google Cloud from your MacBook, right? So
Yeah,
it should.
I'm trying to use command line as I used earlier, Google Cloud
Mhm.
command. So that's still working for me. So that is not a problem.
Okay, yeah, yeah, but okay. Yeah, try installing there because as if you don't practice these things, it's more about uh, you need to practice and you then only you'll remember and you'll get more questions, right? Otherwise,
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
it is just blank after like 1 week.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
It is.
Anyways,
I
you
wish if I have a chance to
have.
restart all this session again or join in a different batch. That's what I was asking Bhumesh if that is possible.
And see, anyways, you got the recordings, right? So it will
Yeah.
be the same thing if you join another session. But main thing is just at least keep pace with whatever we are doing in the session, so that at least 2-3 class is fine. But completely like if you want to now go and install Jenkins, then start and it is. I may not be able to help you later on, maybe because once the sessions are over, right? So if you have any doubts or anything, you're stuck somewhere, so you may not get an immediate help that time, right? So
Yeah.
just don't wait for the things to complete like the session and then you have the recordings, you can look into them and you can install things and learn at your own pace. But at least yeah, like that will help. Like if you are practicing, and these tools are like you need little bit of practice, like there may be Jenkins or even Docker or anything like Ansible. So that way, right? Yeah, it's a good time. Like, anyways, market is down also. So yeah, just if you can concentrate, then that will be good. That's what I can feel.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get started with Ansible then today. So one more new tool. Let's see what it is. Okay. Um, now we let's take a scenario like in um, in in a DevOps, like as a DevOps engineer, right? So we need to start looking at more on the infrastructure now. Like one aspect is on the build side, like when the developer he checks in the code, we are supposed to get all the code from the repository. We are going to build it, right? And finally, we are deploying it to the servers, side the infrastructure, basically. Now, even for the infrastructure, it doesn't come by its own. We have to set up the infrastructure, right? Like the virtual machines, say for example, like how in Google Cloud we went and created a virtual machine. We are installing Jenkins, Docker tools. Now it can be any server. Like if I want to install Tomcat, I can go and install Tomcat, Apache, or like we have to set up the environment, right? So that's also the part of DevOps engineer's role and responsibilities. So to manage the infrastructure and manage in the form of a code, that means I will write a piece of code, not exactly in terms of a language or anything like not any programming language, but I'll write a code. So I'll write that code, and that code can be executed on, let's say there are 10, 100,000 machines, right? So I can manage those machines by means of a code. And there are tools like Ansible is one of the tool which is used to manage the configurations of a system. Now, when we say configurations, what all things we can manage? So let's look at the virtual machine. In the virtual machine, what I can do is uh, I can create a user, I can delete a user, I can install an application, I can remove some files, delete some files, files operations, group operations, users. Um, then I can start a service, stop a service, right? So all these things are the resource. We call it as a resource that we can manage, right? So let's take an example of one of the Windows machine. On this Windows machine, what I can do is I can go and delete a folder, like I can install something, right? I can move the files, copy the files, right? So all these operations is possible using this tool, and the things we are managing is called as a resource. So resource can be a file, it can be a user, it can be a service, it can be any application you're installing. So all this makes a resource, and that we are managing using this tool called as Ansible. So Ansible is it's called as a configuration management tool, and the competitors are there. Earlier we had Puppet, Chef, um, but the only difference here with Ansible is it is easier to learn. You don't need any programming language to learn and implement Ansible. For Chef, you might require Ruby, a little bit of Ruby understanding, and you might write some small script in Ruby. But Ansible doesn't require anything. You need to know a simple format of language that we will see. It's called as YAML language. So that is very human readable, and anybody can just understand and write a YAML file. Okay, so let's get started with Ansible. So the way you can define it is obviously it is an open source engine. It's a configuration management tool basically, and it can be used to automate the IT environments. When we say automate, what we can do is you can automate the configurations, like it can be wide range of systems like database, storage, network. Even network you can manage firewalls and other things, right? So this tool is used to manage the configurations of your IT infrastructure. Okay, so with that definition, let's move on to the next slide. Now, what all we can automate? Okay, so there are the main three categories that we can see where Ansible is used. So one is the provisioning. When I say provisioning, that means I am creating a virtual machine. See, there is no machine as of now. So using Ansible, you can also create a virtual machine, right? So if first you'll create a virtual machine, and then you will start installing and doing all the next stuff there. So it also does provisioning, but it is not recommended. There are other tools in the market which does provisioning in a very better way. Like we say Terraform is there. If you go to AWS, we have got AWS CloudFormation templates. If you go to Azure, we have got ARM templates are there. So they does the job in a better way. But Ansible also has got an option of provisioning. If you want, you can use that option here. Okay. Second one is the configuration management, like we were talking about, right? The configuration in the sense you want to stop a service, install, update applications, or implement any policies, security policies, like that. So all this configuration tasks is the main, I can say the main area where it is used, mostly used. And also you can use it for deployment purpose as well. Let's say you want to deploy something on the servers, then even Ansible has the options to deploy, right? So mainly it is used for configuration management, and the second use case for Ansible would be in the deployment category. Okay. All right. So with that, let's move to the next slide. Now, why Ansible? Why not any other tool? Like we were discussing, right? We have tools like Puppet and Chef in the market. The main reason is the simplicity, we can call it as, because the creator, this guy called Michael Dehan, so he faced, sorry, he understood that learning the tools like Puppet and Chef requires, there's a learning curve involved because you have to know a language, a Ruby, little bit of Ruby, then learning Chef itself. We have a client server architecture in Chef. So installing the client, the server, there is a lot of things that we need to learn and understand. There is a learning curve, like it takes time to learn Chef and Puppet. But with Ansible, it's very easy. So we'll come to that. And he wanted a tool which will make life easier for anybody, like and DevOps guy or operations guy. They are not too much into programming, right? So he wanted a tool which will help us do the things, but at the same time we need not break our head learning any language, or there should not be any much learning curve. We should not invest time in learning the language and then implementing. Rather, if it is very simple, we'll just focus our things on implementing the whole configuration, or if you want to deploy something. So we'll mainly focus on the implementation part, right? So that's what he thought, and he came up with this tool. And so for that, he recommended YAML, a simple configuration language. And we'll see what that YAML and how it looks like, right? So that was the motivation behind getting to this tool, how Ansible came into picture. Okay, and also you can categorize Ansible into these three areas, like it is simple, human readable format, no coding skills required. It's powerful in the sense we can do the deployment. It does all this configuration management, orchestration and things. And other benefit of Ansible is it is agentless. It doesn't have any architecture like client server and things like that. So any machine, from any machine you can control n number of nodes. So the virtual machine is called as a node. So that nodes you can manage from any of your system. So it is very agentless. So there's no agent running on each of your node machines, right? So that's how it is. These are the benefits of using Ansible. So we'll look at the YAML basics, right? So how to write a YAML file in Ansible. And that YAML file, we look at the syntax of how the YAML syntax is there. And these files, what you write in Ansible is called as playbooks. Like how in Chef, they are called as recipes, and in Puppets, they are called as manifest files. Same way in Ansible, the files that you're writing, they are called as playbooks. Right? The playbooks will contain the YAML syntax, so that we are going to now see and try to understand what it is. Okay. Always, yeah, obviously, this YAML is very easy to understand, read and write when compared to other data formats like XML and JSON format. So we'll see some example. Okay, so understanding YAML, we will go to, yeah, I can just go to a notepad and maybe, yeah. So it usually starts with the three dashes here, okay? And then you can start writing your YAML format. So it starts with the three dashes and end with the three dots, right? Again, these are optional. You can either use it or you can just ignore them. If you start with this, you have to end with the three dots, okay? And again, here the values, how you represent is key value pair. Let's say, let's take this example here, like a dictionary, okay, a student record, for example. Student's name is James, right? And the details about that guy, right? Let's say the name is James, um, roll number, division, and so on and so forth, right? So this way, it's a name and a value pair. Always it's a name and a value pair that we are adding here. Okay. So there are different ways. The dictionary is there, list is there. So we'll have a look at it. Just let me go to the Ansible. Yeah. So there's a YAML syntax. So there's a lot of documentation available online. So if you go to Ansible documentation, so you'll get all the details here. So this is a YAML basics that we are interested in. Okay. So it all starts with this and ends with this, what we have seen. A simple list, if I want to represent in a YAML file. So I go with a simple dash list of all the fruits. Let's say these are all the fruits. I can list it in this way. Okay. So this is for the list. If I want to go with the list, I can write it in this format. Okay. And let's say with the key value pair that I was talking about, right? Just in case I want to go with the key value pair, this is an employee record, right? This guy, like this one, name and the value, job, developer, and skill, and this one. Right? This is pretty simple. So if you want to represent a YAML file, this is how simple it looks like. And you can have a combination as well, like if you want to have multiple records, so you can maintain as a list. So this dash, whatever variable starting with the dash, it is a list. So within that list, you are having the values this way. You can put a skills and you can maintain the list in this format as well. So this is again combination of dictionaries and the list. So this is a dictionary. So it gives the details about Martin. And again, within that, you are using a list also in this format. Okay. So the different ways it can be represented, you can just go through that. You can use this flower brackets also to represent the same thing what we are writing here. This is more easier. Anybody can understand. This also is a valid format like this. Okay. Any question so far on this one?
No.
Okay. So this is how the YAML format looks like. Again, I just have some examples here. Same thing. So we'll get started with installing now Ansible, and then we'll see some. We'll write a playbook in the YAML file, and we'll see how we can run that playbook on the node machines. Okay. So let's go to our server. Let me start this one now. Okay. To install Ansible, we simply have to go with the sudo yum install -y and type in Ansible. Okay, so it'll get the packages, the dependencies, everything, and it will start installing the Ansible. Okay, so it's completed. Let's go and check that Ansible --- version. So I can see that Ansible is now installed. It'll give some details like configuration file. This is a configuration file. Um, so we are interested in one file that is sudo vi /etc/ansible hosts. So this file we are interested in. So in this file we will be mentioning our node like node virtual machines IP addresses. Okay, so we can go to the very last and we can add an entry here like what all host machines or what all node machines you want to control using the Ansible. You can give a group name here, let's say a test server, any name you can provide. So for now I'm giving as a test server. It can be like DB servers web servers, all the URL and the IP address you can add under this particular group. You are just grouping and you are managing your servers based on the grouping here. Same way, I just put it as a test server, and under this test server, I'll be adding some of the servers. Let's say I'll take this one. I'll add it here. And also take this machine. Okay, so these two machines is what I'm going to now test using Ansible. Okay, so let me save this file. Okay, now we know that it is agentless. So for that, we have to go with the passwordless authentication. Now, how do we set the passwordless authentication? So for that, we have to copy the public key. We'll create a combination of private and public key, and public key will copy to all the node machines so that we can connect using and without using any password. So that is called as passwordless authentication. So how do you achieve that is we'll go with SSH key gen. This is a command, and the type is RSA key we are trying to generate, and the bits we are going to go with the 4096. This is more secure. So we'll try to generate the keys. So it will generate the public and the private key pair. It will ask for the path. So this, you're okay with the path, you can just enter. So the directory is not there, it has created, good. Passphrase we don't require, you can press enter again. And finally, the keys are generated at this particular path, home demo SSH. This is the private key and this is the public key. Okay, and this is SHA-256 encrypted. Okay, it is encrypted with this SHA-256. Okay, so once we generate these keys, now there is a command called as SSH copy ID. SSH copy ID, and I want to copy it to let's take this server. So I want to copy this to this machine. I'll go with this one. At last, do we want to continue? I'll say yes. Now what it is doing is it is going to copy the public key to this machine, and it will be copied under authorized keys. So we'll see that. So I'll say NS for now. So it will copy this keys, attempting, if you prompted, it will ask for the password. So let me enter the password. Okay, so one keys has been added. Now we can try to connect SSH directly. Now if you want to see if this is working, I can go with SSH and just copy this one. Now I shall be connected to this instance too. I'm connected to this instance too. Right now I was on CentOS. Now I'm connected to instance 2. Now let's check if the public key has been copied. So for that I'll go with it will be there in the authorized keys. Okay, so this is the key that has been copied. This is the public key. You see DevOps demo at CentOS. Right, so this is the one we generated right just before here. DevOps demo at CentOS. So same thing is being copied to the authorized keys on this particular machine. Right, it will be there in the authorized keys. This one. All right, so the file is all copied and we are able to connect. We'll just exit and we'll be back to our CentOS. Connection is closed. Okay, so let's clear this. So we'll run the same copy command again on the other machine. This machine, we'll take it. We'll give for the same process, it'll ask for the password. All right, so the password is for this machine. So we have entered the password and the keys have been copied. Again, if you want to check that, let's quickly do that. Just go with this one. And now you're able to connect to the node 1 machine. All right, if you want, you can again check the keys is copied or not. Anyways, it is copied because you're able to connect. So we'll exit back. We are good that we are now able to connect from my CentOS to both the machines. So let's clear this now. So once we have done this, let's try to ping these two machines from here. So I'll go with the Ansible -m, and there is an option called as a ping. I will go with the test server. So this test server is I gave in the host, right? So it will now try to ping these two servers and we'll see how that works. It is successful. It's able to successfully ping this machine and this machine. That means we have established the connectivity from my machine where Ansible is installed to these two particular node machines. Now these two machines are under the Ansible control. Now if I write a playbook, I can run those playbooks onto all these machines. Or let's play around with some commands like Ansible -m. So I'll tell what this m is a module. Module is like I want to run any command on these two machines. Okay, so I'll go with this module as a command. We'll see what is a module for now. Like let's say it's a command here, and we are passing. We want to check like yesterday. We were checking some uname hyphen. We want to check some details on the servers like uname -a, for example. Okay, and then we'll say on this test servers, we want to check the uname details. Sorry, what happened? Ansible. Okay, let's say I want to run a command. The command is uname -a on all these test servers. So it will give me the details onto my screen like this. So on this machine, these are the details. On this machine, these are the details like this. So I can run any command. Let's say I want to check some uptime from when these servers are up. So I can just go with the uptime. Okay, so it has been up from so much of time. So like that, I can run any commands. So all these modules we can search here. Let's say if I want to go here and we will see what are the modules that are possible. Let's say I go with the all option. Ansible modules documentation. Let's go with this one. So let's go with the module index. I think all modules are here. Let's see. There are a lot of modules. Modules is like, let's say I want to manage the file. So the related commands and everything for managing. Let's go and see. For example, files. I want to manage the resource called as files. In that, there are a lot of modules again. Let's say I want to check with manage some properties on the file. Okay. So these are all the parameters that we can pass. I want to go with some, let's see some examples we have here. Easy. Yeah, some examples are there. So what this file module is doing is, it is you're going to this path, you're changing the owner, you're changing the group, and you're modifying the permissions of the file. Like simple example, this is the path, You're changing the owner and the path. So all these, let's say path, owner, properties, right? These properties, what it does, it's all defined here. Say owner, right? For example, what it does, path, what is a path you need to provide, right? And source, destination, string. So all these details you can find here. The mode is you're changing the permissions. So all the documentation is available here. You just have to search for a module. Let's say you want to modify files. You need to search for a file module and come and check what are the parameters possible, and then use it in your playbooks. Okay, so this is one example. So let's see, file is done. If you want to replace, read, patch, there are a lot of modules available. So you just have to know how to use that, and that's the only thing you need to learn here. Okay, so modules, there are cloud modules are there, clustering. So commands is what we were saying. Commands is basically if you want to execute some command on the target machines, so you go with this command parameter. So I'll go directly to some examples. So you can see I want to run some cat command, or I want to run something using the command. I can run that particular thing. Again, you can see this is in the YAML format, name and the value pair, key value pair. This is the key and this is the value. So only our job would be to write this playbook internally. Internally Ansible understands, let's say I want to modify something, or I want to, what this, you'll write the command, it how it implements is all taken care by Ansible. Behind the scenes it knows what it does, right? You don't have to worry, like if I want to install something, let's take one example, like I want to install, I'll go with the yum module. This is the command module, right? If I go back to module index, packaging modules, let's go to the packaging modules. In that yum, let's see, where is yum? This yum package manager is there, right? So I'll click on this yum. I want to install something, let's say HTTPD. Okay, that's the Apache server. So I'll just say name of the package is this one, and what is the state I want to go, latest. That's it. And Ansible will take care of installing the Apache server, and it will take the latest and it will install the server. So that's how simple it is. If I say I just use the yum module, I give the name and I give the state, and it will be uh, so Ansible will take care of installing everything in the backend. You just don't have to worry anything about it. Okay, so that's how simple it is. But only thing is you need to know the modules and what are the properties that you can use here. Okay, so any questions so far?
For me, no.
All right. So shall we stop at this point, I think, or do you want me to continue?
Yeah, we will stop here.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of information today, right? So yeah, just go back and install Ansible, try to absorb what YAML file is, and then tomorrow we'll see, we will write a playbook and we will run that playbook on the node machines. Okay,
Okay.
all right.
Okay,
Fine then.
thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much. We'll talk tomorrow then. Yeah, bye.
Okay, thank you.